And we are broadcasting live. It is Wednesday, September 8th, the Digital Roundtable. It's ready to roll. We got the crew after the Digital 360 Summit back in East Texas and Northern Austin and South Austin. And now we have a great guest who actually is across the ocean in South America at the moment. We'll come with him in a moment, but to get rolling here for our guests, I'm going to ask our John Sibley Butler to get us in the mood with the guitar. Johnny?
Of the magic dragon live by the sea and frolic in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Very nice.
Bravo, bravo.
Very nice. So Johnny, you did a great job last week on a keynote, and I think that you sparked a lot of more deeper thinking about the business models. And obviously we had an event that was full of luminaries and great content, and still impacted a little bit by COVID. We were wearing masks. And so what's your take on how the conference go and some of the conversations that you had?
I think the conversations were outstanding. And, you know, a lot of the conversations were outstanding after the presentations. I thought that the group did a wonderful, wonderful job. And I think we put the emphasis on business models. I think that I put the emphasis on segmentation of business models in the electrical industry, in the industry of the grid. And I think we talked about things that can be, given how the new technology can change. And I think the biggest thing was we could have a whole segment of very wealthy people who are in Teslas and who have all of their energy they need while we freeze to death. So I think it was a way of a wake up with the industry people to realize that technology can change business models.
Absolutely. Llewelyn, you were there as well. Thank you very much. You did a fabulous job moderating the Smart Cities panel. I thought you had an amazing crew, the city of Brownsville, Kyle, San Marcos. You got, these forces of what's going to happen. What was your take of the conference and your panel and the aftermath?
I think it was a fabulous conference. I think it was really cutting edge at a time when it needs to be cutting edge. I like the fact that it wasn't haunted by the old bugaboos of policy and money. Every speech didn't say the challenge facing the Department of Energy, Treasury, whatever, is will it be funded, or the challenge is something else. And he didn't say the US needs a policy on this. I think it's very tedious because most meetings end up discussing policy, and most projects, ideas, thoughts tend to be limited before they're fully fledged by money or concerns over budget. I'm really tired of suggesting anything to anyone, and they said, but it'd be very expensive, even if it's not very expensive at all. I once suggested to a utility chairman that it would be nice if they got the kids to paint, as you see a lot in San Antonio, murals to paint the poles. The kids would love it. It would cost too much, he said. It was his automatic reaction to everything. And that's very inhibiting in a society. You've got to let an idea float. And there were a lot of grand and good ideas floating. Some I would carp at a little here and there. I'm not sure, for example, when it comes to the future of smart cities and automation, that people really want to ride in anonymous vehicles. Autonomous, yes. Anonymous, no, I say. I think people will want in the garage their own autonomous vehicle. Yeah. They won't want coming down the street on call something that somebody else has just ridden in. And also that has huge health questions, cleanliness, lots of things. But it was a fabulous conference. It moved, if I might be so grandiloquent as to say, it moved the human agenda forward slightly.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And our guest today is Byron Rojas. And before I introduce him formally, Byron, how are you, sir?
Thank you guys thank you Andre for this invitation and this digital roundtable, and it's nice to meet you, John and Llewelyn King.
Llewelyn.
Doesn't matter. It's not easy.
Yeah, I am very happy to be here sharing with you this afternoon here.
Yeah.
I am in Guayaquil, Ecuador, and I am doing to share with you my experience, my vision, and
Absolutely.
I'm available for you.
And glad that you're here today, and thank you again for sending your team to Digital 360 and sponsoring and having a booth. And I know there was some very good conversation. People were very impressed with the technology. We'll get that into a moment. But let me introduce you formally first. Byron Rojas is the founder and CEO of Easymetering LLC. He has been really in this journey of smart metering for most of his career, knee deep into trying to transform the industry over the last 10 years. Easymetering offers 4G and 5G smart metering solutions with what I call built-in cybersecurity and theft detection. Easymetering sells its products in the US and Latin America. They're just about to conquer North America through Florida. And they have joined CIEDAR, Texas State, as a founding member. We're looking forward to deploying their metering technology in our buildings and all the labs that we're doing there. Byron has a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering and Electrical and Computer Engineering from La Escuela Superior Politécnica del Litoral in Ecuador. And so glad to have you, Byron. We're very proud of you. You've done a lot of work.
Thank you. I think that is a very nice opportunity for my company to share the Digital 360 Summit event. And we are very proud with this participation. Thank you to you guys. Thank
Absolutely. You. Before we get into your things, let me circle back real quick with the guys. Couple of things. So you probably got home over the weekend and you saw some football games, and I couldn't notice the dichotomy of us having a super safe environment with distancing, wearing masks, sanitizers everywhere. And then I saw those football stadiums, including our own in Austin, with 100,000 people shoulder to shoulder, screaming and yelling. Gentlemen, where are we on COVID?
But I think that was an experiment to see where will we be in 2 weeks. I too was looking at what was happening here in Austin as my Longhorns began to play. And it was not just in the stadium, it was downtown on 6th Street. Mm-hmm. It was not just in the stadium, it was the students in the fraternity and the sorority houses and in the dormitories. And we also have a fair, much like a county fair outside of the stadium, and it was everywhere. There was a complete disregard, if you will, for the science that has told us to social distance and to wear masks and to do those things. It's like a kid in a candy store that's been locked out for 2 years, and they literally could not have a chance to show the things that they had been missing. Well, of course, as we say, the proof is in the pudding. And if you look at what's happening in the pros, if you look at all of the stadiums in America were full. The question is, we have a big breakout in the next 2 weeks. Will the hospitals be more overflowing? And I think we have to wait until then. But certainly, if I'm a newscaster, I would say this is a total disregard for the information that we have about the virus. Yeah. What an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, Llewelyn?
I think we're battling it. Johnny is quite right, absolutely correct. Note I said that, Johnny.
I wrote that down.
Good. You may want to use it in the future. We're dealing with a terribly virulent political myth that somehow wearing a mask is something to do with freedom, with liberty, with all of those good things which are so important. And of course, it is nothing of the sort. We subscribe to social norms in all sorts of ways. We wear clothes. We mostly vaccinate our children. We behave in certain ways. We get cars registered. We get driver's permits. There is no infringement on liberty at all in doing something sensible. But it does show the power of social media and the ability to disseminate a pernicious lie. And a pernicious lie is abroad. There are several pernicious lies that are abroad, but this one is a cause and effect, immediate death. And it's not confined, unfortunately, to Austin, because I was in Austin and away from Rhode Island and from my regular gym. People looking at me wouldn't think that I'm somebody who goes to the gym, but I do. I'm more of a Teletubby otherwise. And the fact is that 10 days ago in the gym, at least half the people were wearing masks. Yesterday, I was the only one, plus the staff, wearing a mask. And they're mostly young people, and I think it's very tragic. Infections are up here, deaths are up. In a small state, I think there were 5 deaths over the weekend, which is quite a lot in this state. The hospitals are fairly full, and I can see that they will be even more pressed as these foolish children and some really foolish adults leading them take us down this ghastly path of a route to death.
Yeah, yeah. We're curious, Byron, before we get into technology and all these things, what has happened with COVID in Guayaquil, Ecuador, and how has this impacted your business? Or have you learned anything? And are you, transforming how you do business because of COVID?
I think that COVID-19 was terrible situation for all the world, of course, but last year in March, we have a terrible situation here in Guayaquil City. I don't know if you know about what happened here, but we had people dying in the streets. That horrible picture for the social media, for the news, and we are with a fair but with this inside in this situation last year for Easymetering was a best opportunity to create a new technology and to take a time in order to innovate and create new concept for the market, for energy market. Because, for Latin American companies like Easymetering, is very difficult to grow in this environment, in this system. We have some restriction in order to, for the economic system, but the challenge here was develop technology and improve and overcome the big companies, the giants companies, because we have not only new technology to offer to the global market, but we have a new disruption concept in the business model of the energy. Mm-hmm. I think that is very important to have this moment like an opportunity in order to create and staying alive, of course, because it is very important for us to. Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us some of the success stories. Who has recently signed agreements with you, and why? Why do they like the technology and the business model?
Yeah, and our business model, we are offering right now advanced metering infrastructure, but with broadband advanced metering infrastructure, because we are using LTE technology, but we are offering advanced metering infrastructure as a service, because with this, the electric utilities the electric utilities take advantage of the infrastructure installed around the world. Easymetering offers this technology as a service. For example, you buy only the meters and you install and you go and you use immediately, because we are connected with more than 400 cellular carriers around the world, and our service and our software is hosted in the cloud. And with this technology, we can accelerate the installation of smart meter. That is, a smart meter is very important in the energy industry, because if we want to change the business model, it's necessary to have smart meters around the world, installed around the world. And for this is our mission too, is accelerate the adoption of smart meters. It's necessary to have a business model in order to acquire high technology in smart metering and for electric utilities of around the world.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
You know, as the Internet of Things expand, as smart meters expand, and as the flow of information becomes much more rapid, if we look at everything from housing issues to storms to alerting people, how do you see a business model around smart meters that will interact with social media, interact with other kinds of things that we do to inform people, to enhance our ability to understand not only the idea of electricity and how it flows, but to better our lives and predict what we do in our lives, in our homes, the food that's coming, the storms that's coming, all of the crises that might be coming, the health care of people. For example, I might have a problem every night. I turn on the light in my house at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, that can mean that somebody has a health problem. So I do a summation of everybody in the world, and I have all of those people to direct certain kinds of processes to them and medical attention. How do you see that interacting with the problems that we have in the world?
This is very nice point, because with the current technology, advanced metering technology, is only with the benefit, in this case, for electric utilities, but it's necessary to develop a better experience for the consumers in the homes. And in this case, we are creating, our technology is including, we are incorporating another elements with the smart meter. Our smart meters are 4G and is prepared for replace with 5G too. But the most important here is to have a smart meters with broadband connection, in order not only with the electric utility, but it's necessary to interconnect with the home and the appliance, because in the future is very important to increase the energy consumption using the current capacity of the grid and the grid in the house. It is very important, because if we want to replace carbon energy, Mr. King, you?
Yes, I have a question, which is probably a naive one, but I don't understand what we get from going from 4G to 5G in terms of hooking up smart meters. And what is the impact of people waiting for 5G? Isn't that delaying some installations which should be 4G and should go ahead?
Yeah, very, very important. Right now we have narrowband technologies in order to read meters, but with this kind of technology, it's not possible to provide to the consumers in real time the situation of electrical, the status of the electrical circuit in the house. Or for this reason, we are creating the smart meters connected with appliance. We are creating this kind of technology. And why? For example, we are connected right now here using Zoom, and the internet service provider offer routers, and with intelligence, with the ability to share the bandwidth in order to more users to have a very good experience. But in this case, for electricity, we don't have this intelligence in this technology, in this. And the meter that we are creating right now, we are doing similar to telecom, to internet service provider or routers. For example, we want to incorporate power grid management in the meter. We are working with this. With this concept, with this type of technology, we can to management the increasing of the energy, and you can put more appliances, more devices using the electrical grid in your home, and you have a meter management this power grid. We name power grid because it's similar to bandwidth in the telecommunication. This is the idea. With this concept, we can to improve not only the user experience, but we can to increase the energy consumption management, the power demand in the home using the current grid.
So one of the things that I understand from your technology, if you can explain it, Byron, your technology can be operated without using a keyboard. You actually have an interface for Alexa, for Siri, or Google Voice, and I can talk to my meter, and I can ask my meter things, and I can tell my meter what to do, and the meter does it. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And then, John, when you say that it's necessary the home users to interacting with the electricity physics phenomenon is very difficult for the common people, but it's necessary to introduce other technologies or from smart home, for example, Google Home, Alexa. The voice devices is very important in this process because when you speak, when you talk with the devices and you say power on a different appliance, for example, in this case, you have a feedback with voice, and it's more easy for your brain to understand. For common people, will be a very good, a better experience interacting the meter, interacting the electricity situation in the home. I think that we are looking at a new generation of technology, a new generation experience, and with this we can to create a new business opportunity, business model for sales energy too.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. With this new distributive, you can, so it moves to we talk about the grid edge, it moves to the home edge. That is, the home edge becomes the major unit of analysis, if you will. And that meter can tell everything, and it can redirect electricity to the different kind of things within the home as needed. And of course, the next question is, it will produce all kinds of data about homes and what people do in homes.
Yes.
And data means marketing. And marketing means new products. And new products means income. And income means jobs. What do you plan to do with all this data that you're gathering on Llewelyn in his home as he sleeps?
Yeah, well, we are thinking a new market new market opportunities. We are creating a digital marketplace of energy in our platform, and I think that the future is not only the data is the best opportunity, but we need to incorporate intelligence in the smart grid in the home. Because first, this is the first, because we don't have, if it don't have a smart devices and intelligence in the electricity system, we can to pass to the next stage. I think that right now, I think that we have a very good opportunity in opening the market in order to create a new business model. For example, if you imagine that you can buy energy only for your refrigerator, for example, or if you can buy energy only for your air conditioner system. Depending on the country, the opportunity to replace carbon energy resources is possible, and we can to connect clean power plants with appliance manufacturer. that the idea here is current, we have a business model up to the meter. Around the world, the source of energy is up to the meter, but behind the meter, the electric utilities and energy vendors, they don't care about what's happening in the homes, what's happening with what kind of energy resources is used the people. That is, in this sector, in this part, we have a new opportunities in order to sell clean energy, but it's necessary to create a new technology in order to management intelligence. With intelligence, manage the micro smart grid in the home. I think that it's necessary to join with the industries, with the companies in order to resolve the problem, because this problem is not in the hands of the people. The problem is in the electric utilities, energy vendors, and governments, because we need a new regulation that you like, that you said, John, because it's very important. The market, open the market is very important, because it's necessary to that use the rulers or freedom market. I think that the competitors, the competition is very important in this sector. We need to incorporate this concept in the electricity sector around the world, not only in USA. I think that's possible to do.
So let me summarize. Llewelyn, you have a question. Park that question real quick. So Byron, you're saying that you are offering a new meter that works on 4G and 5G, that it has what's, if you know that your phones have a SIM card, and this meter that you could buy eventually maybe in Walmart, not at the utility, but on Walmart, that it would talk to any 4G and 5G network, private or public. And it's not just a meter, but it's really an energy router that controls the appliances in the home and chooses how you spend energy and buy energy. And it's your device, it's your meter. It's not the utilities meter.
Yes,
it's my meter.
Yeah, we need to work in this direction. We need to change the direction of the market, because the future is in the home, is in the consumer. We need to offer the power to the consumers.
Yes, this is what I would say. It's not the home edge. We're going to have issues with the grid edge and automating the grid edge. But what you're saying is, as Andres just said, then you have a distribution of energy based on the meter where energy needs to go in the home, which adds a whole nother concept to just electricity going to the home. So therefore, things can be elevated within the home as needed by your smart meter.
Yeah,
that's very, very, very interesting, Byron. Fascinating, in fact. But I want to ask two questions which are really rather primitive questions, but which concern people or concern me. One of which is, have you the ability with your smart meter to have a pay-as-you-go function? It is a big problem for utilities that people don't pay the bills, then they disconnect it, and then it becomes a social issue. In this country, we're about to see hundreds of thousands of people disconnected because there's been a moratorium during the pandemic. Way back, a long time ago, when I lived in England, you could still buy your electricity and your gas as you went by putting a coin in a meter. Well, at this point in time, and then in South Africa, they introduced in the poorest areas a system where you could buy some electricity as you went along with a card, a bit like a credit card, but it wasn't, which had a lot of advantages. One, they were able to use it to electrify homes that had not otherwise been able to meet the code, but also you got rid of this terrible problem of people spending money they don't have and then being unable to pay their bills. And the other thing which always comes up when you see smart electronics in the home, what does that do to privacy? When your meter can tell you whether you're running the air conditioning or the vacuum cleaner or watching television, that is knowing an awful lot about you. That's an awful lot of data for Johnny, who likes data very much.
Mhm. Okay, that very interesting.
So prepay, and privacy.
Yeah, and in Latin America countries, we have different situations from IT, with another other side is Chile, for example. But a prepaid system is used for electric utilities in order to poor people offer electricity. This is a interesting point because the electricity right now in our region is a social service, and I think that it must be the same importance in the first world and the emerging countries too. But here we have another problems in our region because we have government electric utilities, and it's not better for evolution of the electricity. They use this sentence that the electricity is necessary for poor people. Yes, I know that it's necessary to work in this direction too, but the system in our region is very difficult because the government companies, electric companies, has very difficult to implement this kind of concept here. But in last year, in the pandemic, we have problems with the social problems because the electric utilities, the people can move in, and they have problems with the readings of the meters because they need to take with the readings with the manual readings. But all situations, we are working in the region in order to provide more value for advanced metering infrastructure of service. For example, remote connect, remote disconnect for prepayment system, including in our platform too. But this is a scenario very, very difficult for region too. But in another side, when you are talking about private companies, for example, in Chile, the market, the electric utilities are private companies, and they have, of course, they have they have responsibilities in order to provide all people, poor people, rich people, middle people, but when you have a private companies, the market is much better. We have a very nice business case in Chile, for example, because the government was a decree. I don't know, is the decree government in order to sell electricity energy cheaper for heating system, in order to poor people to receive this service with cheaper rates, only for electricity. But the electric companies in Chile, for example, they are looking for meters with two circuits, one meter with two circuits, one circuit for the home and another circuit in order to do the metering only for the heating system, in order to sell energy with a cheaper rate. Yeah, but with this kind of technology, it's very complicated to install this kind of technology because you need to provide meters and to do new installation, new wires, etc. And another problem for electric utility is that they don't guarantee that the electricity in the second circuit is used only for a heating system. This is, for example, this is a real problem, but Easymetering created a smart power cable technology in order to incorporate in the heating system appliance. And with this, we can provide a cheaper electricity with 1 meter and circuit because we can connect to the energy provider with the appliance directly. This is a real pilot project in Chile that we are thinking that with this we can to change the direction. I try to say you that with this kind of technology we can provide social service tool. We can take advantage over economic opportunities because if you cost using gasoline, for example, or gas for a heating system, you have opportunities to sell clean energy with cheaper rates using this kind of technology. But this is very interesting because when you want to put and grow your solution, it's necessary to use the capacity, the current capacity installed around the world. This is very important for Easymetering.
Yeah. So clearly,
let me ask you a question, Rick.
Go ahead, Johnny.
You bring up an interesting question that Llewelyn has talked about. Is there a lag between the adoption in all countries of all the new technologies? What about the digital customers, the digital points within the network? And you keep talking about the people themselves, but whether it's in America, whether it's in Chile, do you think there'll be a lag in the development of and the adoption of the new technologies by the people themselves? When they react, Llewelyn would say, "Get out of my house." What do you think? What do you think would be the reaction to what I call customers in the digital network now?
Yeah, this is very interesting because in Chile, 3 years ago, Chile was a big problem with the look of the smart meters. The smart meters were opposition of the people, of the part of the population in Chile. But I think that the people have reason in order because the people don't receive benefit of in this case. It's necessary to think in the people, the benefit of the people. When in Chile, for example, when they are using, in the next year, because we are working in this pilot right now, we are building we are manufacturing the meters with the original oil. They will have a new experience using this technology, new generation of technology. And when you receive a better solution with benefits for you, with economic benefits, and when you receive a better experience, you receive and you don't have problem for security. For example, if you are electric utilities, you can provide, you can connect your meter to the home, because if your meter offer benefit for you, what is the reason why you need to hack the meter, for example, if you are receiving benefits? And it's very important the user experience, and it's very important the economic benefit. Is very important to generate new competitors, players, and clean power plants.
So how does your platform? What does your platform do that is different, Byron? Can I access your platform in my iPhone, in my iDroid phone? Can I see my bill? Can I pay my bill? Can I see my usage? Can I talk to Siri on my phone? Can I talk to the meter through that? How does the platform work?
Our difference is focused in the meter, in the ability of the meter to have a different connection with broadband technologies. First, that is necessary to connect. We provide the solution to integration with the appliance in this case. And of course, we have innovated software that is possible to create the energy service pack. For example, if you want a new in the market and you want to sell energy with a little steps in our platform, you can create a new service pack of energy. with the rulers of your bill that you create you can create service pack and to make billing and collect payments using our platform. It's directed only.
So if I have your meter and I have solar panels and my battery and I can not only consume the energy, but I can also sell the energy.
Yes, and easily, because it's a very big problem right now with current system and technology. For example, when we are providing advanced planning infrastructure for solution and software solution for utilities, we need to transfer the data for the billing system, and if the regulators make some changes in the rates is necessary. The timing is a big problem. The process is a big problem. In our technology, we can do the billing very easily.
And do I control my data, or does the utility control my data?
And it's shared, because one part is for the utility, because the utility need to control the energy, and but another side of the technology is directed for consumers. Yeah, it is very important, because we want to create this new user experience and new benefit for the market. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that's very, very interesting with the business models themselves. And I think what Andreas was asking is, how well is your platform integrate the mobile situation as we go to 5G? That is, will I be able to be in Walmart and look at what's going on in my house? Certainly I can. Right now I can open my garage door. Right now I can turn on the lights in my house. And I think what Andreas was asking was, and you answered it, with your platform really integrate everything in one swoop, so that we can have everything in the palm of our hands about our house.
Yeah. I think that this is a solution oriented to incorporate high technology, high learning technology for electric utilities around the world. They don't need to acquire infrastructure, servers, software, complicated. And we have a very low rate, because we have a tariff for each meter and use the platform, including the communication, including the use of cellular networks around the world.
So here's an interesting thing, guys. We're having a conversation with Byron Rojas, founder and CEO of Easymetering, and I cannot escape in my mind to think that while we're just discovering him, and a lot of people have not, he apparently has the platform in the cloud and the software that goes in any meter from any vendor, so that any cellular network can turn on that meter, and you can actually, as a user, control your energy management. And it works on all the networks in the world already. This is like an Uber for metering.
Yeah, I think that we are agnostic at different brands, and we have this ability, because I think that the power is in the solution, in the intelligence, how to do that. And this is the market need, because
so this is the Easymetering is the gig economy meets the utility industry.
Yeah.
What do you think, Johnny?
And the consumer in the future, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that the fact that we haven't quite discovered him, and what we're saying is that technology exists to really improve what we've talked about on this program so much. How do we improve the gig economy, and how does all of that interact with things? Because remember, your smart meter is not only for commercial residents,
right?
Also business enterprises. And when we throw business enterprises into the loop, including colleges, universities, McDonald's, and all of those things, then it gives a new meaning to the data that we can have for new opportunities, if you will, for the gig economy, and how to, quote, manage the gig economy.
So Llewelyn, Byron has enabled the Uber of energy.
I think it's totally fascinating. I do wonder whether there will be competition if your cell phone thinks it can do the same things. Is there a potential conflict there between whether we wire our futures through our cell phones or we wire them through the meter? And I wonder if that is a potential conflict. We certainly
Well,
don't.
I think the reason he works with both is because the utility requires a meter legally as their cash register. So that the nexus to the utility power and the dispatch of the power comes through that meter box.
Right.
But
I was wanted to ask.
but he's giving control to the customer more than ever before.
That's
Right.
very good and very interesting. But Byron, as you move forward, are any of the meters, and they're installed in more than 60% of American homes, any of the smart meters of today going to be obsolete? Will they have to be replaced by smarter meters?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I think that is very interesting that because you know that a smart meter is a technology with more than 15 years. And I think that it is the very good opportunity. I think that we are in the best time in order to replace all those technologies and put a new broadband technology in order to improve the smart grid and to do smarter all. Yeah, of course.
You know what I see happening? I remember the first time that I saw the Google Nest, the Nest thermostat, and then the competition started happening. And then the Nest thermostat was being sold at Home Depot. And I can see Byron convincing all the meter companies to create the easy metering meter, and it's sold at Walmart or a Home Depot or at Lowe's, and I go buy that easy metering and I switch it, and now I'm in control of my energy.
Yeah.
Byron, which country is ahead in smart metering? Is there any country you looked at that you think is clearly the leader in smart metering?
Okay, I think that United States is a leader with this kind of technology, but we have two standard, electrical standard, a European standard and a USA standard. And smart metering, other countries in Asia and Europe has a very, very nice with very, very, very expert with smart metering technology too. But I think that this is the moment to change or to add a new technology, a new concept, new business model. It's necessary to do that. In my country, I started in 2003 with meters, with the electricity meters for commercial and industrial project here in Guayaquil City. And we incorporate GPRS. And 2003, in this year here in Guayaquil, started the second generation cellular technology in Ecuador. And we incorporate, I was the first engineer and the first company that developed a GPRS technology for the underglassing the power meter in this year. I think around the world, because it's the first technology. And we have smart meters, but the smart meters, the residential smart meter has a problem. It's the situation of the market, because the electric utilities has a little margin in order to the profit, Yeah, and this little profit is not possible, the return of investment of the smart meters. For this reason, I think that it's necessary to grow, to increase the energy consumption in the homes, because with this, the electric utilities will have the better condition in order to return of investment with smart meters. I think that the smart meters is very, very important in economy, in global economy right now, but it's necessary to incorporate and take advantage of infrastructure, telecommunication infrastructure installed around the world, because it's very difficult to sell different technologies in different countries. For this reason, I think that this smart meters technology with the with the narrowband telecommunication is not a very good successful story in the electric utilities around the world. I think that it's necessary to take
4G and 5G.
Yeah, in 4G and 5G technology, because this is the way for new markets. I think that is.
Thank you. Very interesting.
So he's being humble by not saying that Ecuador and Chile are farther ahead than anybody else because they're using his technology.
Well, I think so, and that's a good thing to do. But I think that let the glory be where it is. Chile is doing out because of you. They're doing outstanding things.
Yeah. I'm excited to see the moment where these utilities pick up on this new panacea that I can actually buy a meter in Walmart and Home Depot and transform how I buy and sell energy and deal with energy in my house. I think that's a pretty profound change.
Absolutely. If you remember our session, then the industry people were not too engaging when it came to change and the different markets that can happen, and flipping a switch to allow the new distribution of energy in different kinds of ways, because we've been doing it for so long in so many different ways, in the same way.
That triggers a very interesting question, which I'd like to ask of John, if I could be excused.
Yeah.
And that is, in your constant reference to designing businesses through their business models, how do you overcome this problem that has just arisen, which is how does a profitable company keep changing when it's getting a very good income from not changing, which has been a problem over the years with adopting new technologies into the electric industry in the US and certainly into other industries. Do your business models have a trigger for bringing in change, bringing about change?
Absolutely. And Schumpeter, the greatest economist, sociologist ever lived, he talked about creative destruction. One of the problems that we have with the electrical industry, with the grid, is that it's a public-private kind of relationship. Now, for example, I could create a new technology, a new way of doing things, and knock Sears and Roebuck completely out. So we know that Sam's replaced Sears and Roebuck, or Walmart replaced Sears and Roebuck. We also know that for example, the typewriter was replaced by the computer, but these are private things. I cannot create a technology to knock out, for example, the airline industry and how we direct planes with the airline. So what we'll see then is going to be gradual, and new technologies will come in and disrupt the way things are being done. And that disruption means that all of a sudden the money is not going to the utilities anymore, but they're going to the people who are making smart meters and buying them from Walmart. So Llewelyn, in public-private relationships, right? Whether it's trains, right? Whether it's airline industry, it's very hard to just disrupt them, because remember, we still need electricity, we need wires, and those kind of things. So the public.
You're also saying, Johnny, that it's very hard to disrupt anything which is in real time, because you can't go out and rework it. Years ago, I've said this to exhaustion, but years ago, I used to give an annual speech to the Electric Power Research Institute's technical information coordinators. And I always got the same question: how can we get the utilities to adopt the things they've paid for and which we have invented, and which they don't want to adopt because they're quite comfortable with what they've got? And that's an interesting challenge.
Right, and they're comfortable because it's a public-private relationship. You know, you just cannot disrupt that like you do with a regular private enterprise.
I think that the solution is in that you are offering. In this case, Easymetering is offering advanced technology advanced management for the meter. With
Right.
our technology using cellular, the electric utilities will have more benefits that current technology. This is very important because they need to receive more too. The electric utilities need to receive more benefits too. It's not only replace, it's necessary to offer more value for utilities too. And I think Easymetering is doing that. We have not only meters, we have a very nice solution, a software solution, but we have another gadgets in order to use for electric utility people too. And it's necessary to offer more because this is the key, and this is the pathway in order to provide more solution for electric utilities and prepare the market for the future.
Right.
That's
What
very
you said,
interesting.
yeah, when it's more efficient for them to switch, but they're living on 1920 technology that's making them a lot of money now.
Right.
But you can see an example of electric utilities, the resistance to giving up wooden poles. Because they've always used wooden poles, but in many cases they're not weather resistant, they're not high enough, but it's very reluctant to replace them with steel or concrete or an amalgam of steel and concrete, which can give them great advantages in weather.
Yeah.
We have very successful stories here in Latin America with electric utilities. And when used, Easymetering is very interesting because it's easy metering, it's easy to use, it's easy to operate, it's easy to install. That for this reason, the name is current with our technology and our product. And the electric utility receive more than other competitors. That is the key. I think that they need to receive that. It's necessary to think in this way too. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Now let me ask an important question. I see a guitar over there in the corner. Are you a guitar guy?
Yeah, of course. Yes, I am a musician too. I am a guitar player.
So can you pick up the guitar and play with Johnny?
Yeah.
You want to go play with Johnny?
Well, let's see.
Right now, get it. Come and get
Very
it.
dramatic. This is history making.
Come on, Byron. Get
Come
the
on,
guitar.
Byron, let's hear you.
But okay.
Johnny, you may not have noticed, but Byron may be auditioning to replace. Wow.
Go ahead, Byron.
I love it. Okay.
Very good.
Gentlemen, thank you
I
very
love it.
much. I wish we could talk forever, but we can't. This has been very enlightening, and thank you, Byron, for being with us today.
Thank you to you guys.
Thank you very much, Byron. Thank you.
We look forward to you landing in the United States and visiting us, and your partnership with TXST and CIEDAR, and success in selling and commercializing your technology in the US. We look forward to it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, guys. It's an honor for me to be sharing this time with you guys. I am very, very happy. So
Been fun as well as instructive.
Thank you, guys.
thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, y'all take care. All righty.
Bye-bye now.